Whew. Maybe this is it. This could be it. I don't know. Miss So, can you hear me? Miss So, can you hear me? I think things are sounding better, but I'm not sure. You let me know. Oh, God forbid. I'm going to wait until somebody can hear me before I start up all this stuff again. Anyone? Hello, anyone? Just checking. Hello? As soon as somebody lets me know they can hear me, I'll get started. Yay! Thank you, Papa Pete. I appreciate it. And I know, Miss So, you're probably in the midst of something. Like everybody, not everybody's just sitting right there ready to type out something. So I get it. Thank you, Pete. You can hear me. I really appreciate that. Really do. Really, really do. So good. Welcome back. I'm going to put this back up so you guys can see this. For anybody who hasn't seen this for the millionth time today already. This is for the vinyl community. I had a chance to. I was kind of led to this thing the other day, and where Rob Walter was doing this. Or Walker. Rob, is it Rob Walker or Walter? Now I don't even know what I'm doing. So anyway, they were doing what's called the vinyl tag, and so I'm just going to do this. They have a list of questions. Thank you. Thanks again for the patience, folks, and for the help, support, guidance. It is. I just restarted, and that hopefully will help, because I was listening to certain things like the music and stuff as I was trying to start back up, and I could hear there was a bit of a funkiness going on there. So I rebooted, and that seemed to have helped. So I think what I'll do is just do that all the time and make sure I got a nice fresh start. So thank you very much. You guys are a blessing to have here and a blessing to have help. So that's huge. Especially to me. So anyway, thank you so much. And Pete, thank you for helping chime in too. There, I'm editing and it's on my TV. I'll have my phone on. Thank you. I appreciate it. So all you guys, really, really a big help. Okay, let's get started again. Where we were. I've killed the other ones. Bye. See ya. Deleted forever. I love that they give you that choice. Do you want to delete this forever? You're like, damn sure I do. Hell yeah. So let's get started again. Here we go. Got my Toby Jepson shirt on today. That's right. There it is. Basically, this is a Stuart Dilley artwork that's wrapped around Do You Want to Riot by Little Angels back in the day. I think it might have been 1989. Don't Pray For Me was the album. Toby Jepson will be, of course, with the Wayward Sons. I'll be talking about them shortly. Because they are one of my favorite bands. I'm going to go so far as to say they're one of my favorite bands of all time. Just saying. That's the way it goes, you know, because they are a fantastic band. They've got great music out there. Thank you. Me too, brother. Me too. Destroy all evidence. Absolutely. And don't make a t-shirt of it. So anyway, so Toby will be with me next month. We just had a chance to catch up a little bit the other day, so that'll be. I am really looking forward to that. Of all the people that I've met in music, he has become one of my favorites, and mainly because we've had so much contact. I went over to the UK and into Europe when they toured with Steel Panther, and I told him, I said, by the time it was almost over, I was like, dude, I want to apologize. He's like, it's okay. It became a little rougher, a little tougher for us to keep me in the in the game during that tour, and I'll explain that sometime. I'll have a complete rundown of that. And in maybe I'll even, yeah, I'll probably do that in a video that you guys can watch. I'll pop it on. All right. So it'll be a little more concise than me going, man. So Wayward Sons and the Star Wars Cantina Band. Yeah. No. Well, the Cantina Band's not so bad. All right. It's not so bad. Did they make it all the way to Rise of Skywalker? I don't know. Did you hear Striper doing an acoustic? Yes, I did. Thank you, JW. I did hear about that. That's pretty cool. I love that those guys are going. You know, I heard about that because I guess somebody, I think it was overseas, somebody put out a post that they were done and that was over. Michael Sweet copied that and put it into a post that he had on Facebook, and talking about, Striper's calling it quits and it's done after this. And it's like, no, it's not. We're getting ready to do this acoustic tour and stuff. And I think that's a brilliant idea. It's a great way to kind of take a break, but not take a break, kind of calm things down, still get to the people and still do some stuff. So I think it's a brilliant idea. We're not that young anymore. And so it's a great way to kind of chill for a year of doing, but still stay in contact with the people. I think it's a great way to do it. Band's always done. Then they come back for one more tour, right? I did hear a little bit more about, thank you also, JW, for reminding me of that. Tony Clarkin and James Kotak. James Kotak, he just passed, what was it? Was it yesterday? And he was a cool guy. I actually met him twice. I had the blessing of meeting him twice. He was the drummer. Originally, he was a drummer for Kingdom Come. I think I have a Kingdom Come vinyl back here, but I'm not quite sure. Drummer for Kingdom Come. And then I met him when he was the drummer for Scorpions, when they were on their Eye to Eye tour. I'd done an interview with Rudolf Schenker, which I've downloaded to the computer. So I'll be putting that into a video to have you guys can listen to that. And then when I was at the NAMM show one year, it was just like so many people I met. I mean, every year I went, and every time I went, you meet tons of people. Dweezil Zappa, Steve Lukather. These are all people I ran into. Uli Roth was the last of the guitar players that I needed to meet because I had met Michael Schenker. And so I met all the guitar players now from Scorpions. So that's been a real blessing and a real bit of excitement for me to do that. But James Kotak was there one of those years one of the last years I went there. And so I got to meet up with him there again. And just a real super fun, super cool dude. So I think I put something out there on the Facebook page today from Keith Michaels from Tango Down that was on the show recently. And he was remembering hanging out with James on the cruises. So I'm glad he had those experiences, and James was a cool dude. I'm sorry to have seen him go so fast, too early. I was recommended on Facebook the late Stuart Adamson's of Big Country's daughter, Kirsten Adamson's music. Wow. I'll have to check that out. I was just listening to Big Country the other day. It came up on my playlist. Eye to Eye is not a bad album, just not what the fans needed. You hit it right on the head there, buddy. I'm with you. When I listened to it, I was like, whoa. Of course, Peter Wolf did the production, which was crazy. It's just one of those, when I say crazy, I just mean that it's not that. If I'm thinking about Scorpions, I'm not thinking, well, let's get Peter Wolf in here and do this. I don't. The writing, the songs on that album, there are songs on that album that are completely brilliant. And then there are songs on that album you're like, what are these doing on a Scorpions record? I don't quite understand it. Now, in knowing that it was a little weird, um, I say weird, I just mean odd, different. When saying that, I'm like, I just wish I could have been around when they were writing this. When I did hang out backstage with them, they opened for Motley Crue on that tour. For when I saw them, they were opening for Motley Crue, and sad, right? Should have been the other way around, to me. But I asked Matthias. I said, "So, what's your take on the record?" And he says, he was okay with it. It just, to him, it didn't feel like it was finished yet. But there are some brilliant tracks on that. In fact, James Kotak does vocals on one of those. Du bist so schmutzig is that's partly him doing all the big rappy stuff. So there you go. It's pretty cool though. It's a fun tune. Du bist so schmutzig. I asked Rudolph about that song, and so he said he gave me an answer on that one. I'll save that. You guys can check it out when I put that out there. I promise to get it out there soon. Okay, I'm not a scout, but I do play one on TV. All right, so moving along, MSG is a favorite of mine. Me too. Also, speaking of MSG, how about that Macaulay Schenker stuff too? I mean, all aspects of MSG are really cool. He's had some great folks in that band and great folks on those albums. Of the three main comeback albums of 2023, Dokken, I haven't heard that yet. Extremes was good. I really liked it. Winger, I'll have to listen to that one because that one I haven't heard all of it yet. I've kept up on their stuff, but this latest one in 2023 I haven't heard yet. But I am a big fan of them. I remember when I interviewed Kip Winger. I'll put that out there too, and I'll have to put some kind of graphics together for that, and then make videos of that. But Winger still remains one of my favorite bands. I really liked the Karma album. It was really, really good. Anyway, everything they've done has been good. Do I love every album? I don't know if I don't know if I dislove them. You know what I'm saying? It's just that there are some that I like more than others. Let's just put it that way. And sometimes I thought, yeah, but then I really got the pull. Pull kind of had to grow on me a little bit. What's the other one though? That was in the middle. Is it 4? Is it no, it can't be 4. Or can it? Anyway, if I'm looking back through them, I might have to walk back there and get my CDs and look through everything because I've been buying almost all of them. The last 2 I haven't purchased yet. But anyway, that's that. I had a great discussion. I'll get started here with this vinyl tag. So I was blessed to bump into this the other day, and it was really, really cool to find this list. And there was also a gentleman, though, who mentioned as well that he had what did he say? He kicked himself out of the vinyl community, is what it's called, the VC, the vinyl community, which is a strong way to say it, but I get what he's saying. Sometimes there's groups that they're a community, they're the vinyl community. And it's because they all are really into the vinyl and the collecting of that. And I like to collect, I like to buy, but I'm not looking for too much. And I'm pretty cheap. So I get things when they're not too expensive. But, I'm never out there diving too deep, buying everywhere. I do like now when I go to a city or a new town, I do try to find out if there's a record store there. Like Kansas City, when I went there and found the Vinyl Underground. Definitely, if you're in Kansas City, go to Vinyl Underground. I'm going to start doing my best to try to find out when there's deals happening at some of these places, because I really want to get tied in with these places and start a tour, a video tour. Like I have a couple of videos to show you guys on the next show or somewhere in between about Penny Lane up in Springfield, and also I have a short little video that I did of Dumb Records, which is what a great little store. What a great little store. Yeah, and the last thing I will say is Perfect Timing. If you haven't heard Perfect Timing by the Macaulay Schenker Group, do it. If you haven't heard the new Black Swan album, do it. Robin McCauley he's still on. I mean, the guy is amazing. What a great singer. I hope you like him because man, I really dig it. All right. So anyway, let's get back to what I had talked about earlier. Germans love David Hasselhoff, and I've mentioned this before. I love Southern rock. I got a great Southern rock playlist that I'm even adding to still. I put some Doc Holliday in there the other day, and the Germans love Hasselhoff, but the French love their Southern rock. So this is Bands of Dixie is what this is called. And in this issue, you can see there it has Kurt Custer, who I've never heard, Government Mule, and this gentleman here, that is Steve Kyle. He's a friend of mine who is in a local band called Rebel Train. You can see there, ass-kicking Southern rock. So we worked together, and he told me that they got a hold of him about interviewing him. So they did that, and this was the magazine. So he autographed one to me, and you can see, came out in 2002. Look at that. And it's just turned 21. So it's really neat. It's really neat. I was really happy for him because a great band, great guys. Steve Kyle's awesome. Now, this is going to come into play. I just wanted to show you this, oddly enough, all those years ago, was right about when I went backstage to Lynyrd Skynyrd when they were here in town. One of the many times they've been here in town. But way back when, they had just inside of this magazine, the first page inside is they feature Gary Rossington's guitar, who we just lost him not long ago. And so there you go. It is a 1959 Gibson Les Paul. I'm terrible with all the vintage stuff and what's really cool. And what years are better than others. Just not great with that. But look at this. It was 2002, and our man Gary Moore was still alive at the time. And look, ZZ Top and Gary Moore were going to be at the Zenith in Paris. There you go. 10/14/2002. They do it backwards there. I'm sure you realized that because there is no 14th month. So, yeah. Remember this? I'm going to start putting that together, and I'll be doing photographs and video of putting this together because I can't wait to finish it, and I'm going to put it up here because it's 1,500 pieces. I'm doing it once. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. So, vinyl tag and the 20 cues. So what it is they play vinyl tag where they like, here, you're it, you do it next. Remember that ice bucket challenge that they had all those years ago? So they have 20 questions. And so I do, once again, unfortunately, I need to pull this up because I had it up, but I had to shut everything down after I used this wonderful, I'll be right back. That is not happening right now. Don't send, just open, please. And I'll get to my 20 questions. Some of the things I couldn't do. Some of it I didn't have any vinyl of some of the stuff, but most everything I did. And I was kind of stretching it for for one of the categories. You guys will hear about it. Just don't send the report and just open my file, please. That's all I really want. It's not asking too much, I don't think. see if I can open this up. I'll tell you what, there was a time, send the report. I don't care. Just whatever. Just move on. There was a time when you could own your own programs and you wouldn't get things like well, it would still ask if you wanted to report about a problem with it, but it wouldn't do all the rigmarole. I still don't understand this. I still don't get it. Why it won't let me in. This is really, really bad. I'm so sorry. Now I got to look this up again. I don't like having these. I don't like having the things online. I don't like them because then it's just messing me up. Vinyl. La 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 tag. I'll tell you what, you guys may be able to hear me, but it still doesn't mean that I'm getting it all right. All right, I will pause this. I got to get my questions out. All right, so first off, let's see, favorite record I purchased in 2023. Okay. That's question number one. And I'm going to say Wayward Sons. I'm in the midst of trying to get the first Wayward Sons album on vinyl, and I don't have it yet. But I do have the two latest. And so I'm trying to complete the collection. So hopefully I can get a hold of Frontiers and do that. But that is one of my favorites. Now I also have Settle the Score as well. Then let's see. The next question is question number 2 is the last record I bought in 2023. So I got 6 records, and the last one I picked out because we had to hustle and get out of there was this one. And I mentioned it the other day because I was just talking about these Michael Stanley band. And the reason I had to pick up You Can't Fight Fashion is because it has My Town on it. So I love that. That was the last one I purchased. Now the next question is 2 albums by a band that were released in the same year. So a band or singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. There's a bunch of bands like that. There was a whole bunch. I don't know whether anybody is saying the same ones that I am, but some people are mentioning Kiss. That was, boom, one of my first thoughts. But I stayed with Casablanca because these 2 albums came out both in 1977. And I love them both. We have On Earth as It Is in Heaven by Angel. On the actually the first album where they had the logo, and then White Hot. Those both came out in 1977 by Angel. Wonderful albums. They're both fantastic records. I'm eager to have Frank and Punky on the show, as well as the rest of the band. These guys that they've got in there playing are just fantastic. They're really continuing on the Angel saga in a great way. Question number 4. If you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? So the 70s is really, really important to me. I can say that the 70s I'm really all over it. However, the 70s had its decline. In the late 70s, disco hit, and it was a tragedy for a lot of us who loved our rock music for 2 reasons. First of all, the superficial lifestyle of disco and it just threw everything off for me. And then all of my rock and roll bands were playing disco. So it didn't end well for me. And so, you know, so many bands, even like the Kinks were playing on their live record, which is brilliant. Still a great record. When they did Lola, they did this disco thing, which was a joke. I get it. But at the same time, when you're in the midst of that, you're like, that's not funny, Dave. That's not funny. I wish the rest of the band would have looked at him and said, Dave, I can't do that. But they didn't. They did it anyway because they knew it would sell. So I said the 80s because that's when there was so much happening. So the same kind of diversity was going on in music, with pop music and rock music and the mixture thereof, and even the mixture of rap music and rock music, Aerosmith and Run DMC, and all these, all these other groups and artists that were coming up. And so it was really pretty cool. And let's face it, it started off like this. Look at that, Back in Black, British Steel. For me, right? For me, a hard rocker and a heavy metal head, these two albums, what a way to start that year. I mean, it's just, there's no denying the greatness of it. And Iron Maiden, this is when I got into Iron Maiden, was on The Number of the Beast. I heard Run to the Hills on our local station, fell in love with it, and it was just fantastic. Another underrated album of all time, 707's Megaforce. Just if you've never heard it, you should. Night Ranger was big back then. This is a nice little cool album flat of The Big Life. And there's another great one. That's a Stan Watts album. If you're not familiar with Stan Watts, he's a painter. This is a painting. Looks like a photograph to me. And we'll talk more about some of those artists in rock and roll. But if other Stan Watts stuff is coming up, here, I'll just flip through these real quick. You had Mr. Big. How great was that? Striper was out in the 80s. This stuff was great. Look at this. This is another great one right here. Styx, Paradise Theater. Great stuff. Great stuff. Tesla. Judas Priest. There you go. More Judas Priest in the 80s. Keeping it going. And here you go. Stan Watts right there. Did this. Also did Condition Critical too. Another album that he did was why can't I say it now? Spreading the Disease. He did that for Anthrax. He also did One Night with a Stranger by Martin Briley. What a great album cover that is. All right, let's take a look. I think it's time to move on to our next question. Number 5, show a record or band or record by a band or singer from Manchester. Well, I didn't have anybody from Manchester. So the closest I could get was Sheffield, which that's Def Leppard. So that's as close as I could get. Sheffield. I might have been able to get closer if I had more to research, but that was close enough. And I knew that was going to be good. What's our next question? Our next question is number 6. Which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? So what did I pick out? Well, I was listening to a lot of this because I went to the show and I made a playlist last year. I even made a solo playlist from the solo records, but I was listening to a lot of Kiss last year. And I haven't purchased any vinyl of Kiss. I I think I own most everything that I want by them. And maybe the only thing I don't own that I probably still wouldn't mind having, I wouldn't mind having the first few albums. I have Hotter Than Hell. So the first and third album, Kiss and Dress to Kill. I probably wouldn't mind having those. So, next they were talking about a party. So number 7, oh, I'm so sorry. Nope, sorry. 7 deals with 7-inch. We're talking singles. So we're going to whip out our 7-inch singles here. Show 7-inch records. All right. So I have reasons for all of these, and I may have one extra. Just, it's not because I can't count. It's just, it's an exciting moment when you're talking about some of this stuff that you have that you've never spoken to anybody about, right? So, so it's always fun and importante to talk about it. So I used to buy singles a lot when I was a kid. Not a ton, but periodically there was something I was looking for. So I picked up Kansas, Point of No Return. Big fan of that on Kirshner Records, produced by Jeff Glixman. And on the backside, side B is what I get excited about. Hey, look at that. You can actually see me. Hey. Closet Chronicles. What a great song. An epic tune. It's on the second side, 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. Another one that I picked up, I picked this up used. Look at this. It's Detroit Rock City. They always talk about it, Detroit Rock City, with what on the backside? Beth. How about that? Pretty cool. The Destroyer single. So I think I have an extra copy of Destroyer back there that I need to frame with that, I do believe. When I worked at the radio station, sometimes there were singles that didn't make the radio play. So we had them and they were just going to get rid of them. So I helped them out and gave them a good home. Because why? Because 2 of those singles, one of them still in the box because I didn't bring it out. But look at this. Locked In, Judas Priest. There you go, from the album Turbo. You got me locked in. Yeah, what a great, that, that album. I love it. It's got great songs on it. Another one from that time frame that I think actually did hit the charts, but I still ended up with a copy of the single, is from the album Heads or Tails, and that is The Flyer by Saga. And that's got Ian Crichton in the band, who's the guitar player for 6x6 with Robert Barry and drummer Nigel Glockler. Now, this next one is not, I don't think this is on the regular soundtrack, because I just looked at the regular soundtrack the other day for Rollerball, but this was something that Roger Williams put together. And it's kind of a big, I almost guess I could call it a disco-y version of the Rollerball theme, which is basically what's the original? Why can't I think of the song? It's like and then it has the sound of the rollerball going out of the turret. My next one is one that I was very fortunate to get a hold of as well. I don't even remember if I got it at the radio station or where I got it. It's possible that that's where I got it. Yeah, I don't know. But we play this song written by, and I've had this for years. I don't know why I didn't see who wrote it. Written by Bruce Springsteen, Light of Day by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. She was with Michael J. Fox as the Bar Busters in Light of Day. I still got to get a copy of that movie. I don't know how to get a hold of it, but I got to get it. The next one is one that I picked it up used. I had the sleeve on it. I think I may have shown it before, and I'll be talking about this again soon. But there you go, My Sharona. I tell you what, this cover maybe a runner up for in a little bit here. Yeah, My Sharona on the backside, Let Me Out. I was very happy to catch that with the cover on it down at Vintage Vinyl. Now, my another runner up that's going to make the list again already, and I've told you about it. That's the reason why I want to show it to you. Is on Big Tree Records is Wild Thing by Fancy. You remember I got this record, so we'll be looking at this here in a few minutes. But there it is, the single Wild Thing, and on the backside, their theme track right there, their title track for the band, Fancy. Two different singers. It's kind of weird. All right, let's get to our next question. Who's coming to your party? Choose 4 music-related people to come to an imaginary dinner party, past or present, or who would you invite? Now, first of all, it's a crazy question. I mean, how do you, yeah, okay, I did this quickly. So who would I actually do this? But it just made sense to me. I really enjoyed chatting with women. So I just thought, why not? Why not? Roxy Petrucci. See, and when I got to thinking about this, I got to thinking about jamming, right? So Roxy Petrucci from Vixen, she's also a Green Bay Packer fan. So there she is over here. And she would be great at the party. She and Britt Lightning. I wouldn't mind having them both. I'm hoping to have them on the show. Then Baby Jean from Mother's Finest. She is a brilliant singer. Good Lord. I was talking about Molly Hatchet recently. She was on that record all those years ago, singing on their album Take No Prisoners. She's the one that duets with him on Respect Me in the Morning. How about this? Pat Benatar. That would be great. Hanging out with Pat, chatting. And I'm going to go with Nancy Wilson from Heart. Because then we could just have a big jam. No bass players in that bunch. So I could be the bass player and we just get together and jam. Just hanging out, talking to the ladies. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. I hope everybody's still hanging out. We still got some folks here. I haven't heard anything from anybody. I hope it's just because you're so into what I'm doing here. We lost them. Choose one musician who passed away. So I know some people were going with David Crosby, but I decided to stick with what I mentioned earlier with Gary Rossington. Yeah, I just thought I'd go with that because I had a chance to meet him years ago as I was stepping backstage to go talk with Owen Hale and Ricky Medlock. They put me in a room to hang out with those guys for a little bit, and I almost bumped right into Gary Rossington as we stepped in to go back in there. So thanks, Pete. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're doing some great editing. Pete does great stuff. I'll tell you what. He's always been a great friend to me and Jeff on our channel, and as well as others and all of you guys with our Go Game Go channel. What do we have next? The next question is question number 9. No, question number 10. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? Well, I mean, I own so much stuff from so many different places, but mainly America and England. And I'll mention the UK as well, because I have horse lips. I just love horse lips. But I'm going to have to go with England. I just have to do that because so much of the stuff that we listen to is influenced by that. So much of the stuff I grew up with is there. And my favorite bands are Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and then along with that, you got Def Leppard, you've got, lots of other bands and Wayward Sons. There you go. Wayward Sons. I could have gotten their other album out for that. So, yeah. So, ELO, love ELO. What a great album cover this was. Gatefold, beautiful artwork. And then they cut it down even just to make sales go up a little bit, I guess. They cut the album down and re-released it as just a single album. Foreigner members, British members in there that got that started. And of course, the Beatles. Come on. I mean, jeez. This is an interesting album. This is volume 2. They had 2 of these. I think my friend had volume 1, maybe, and 2. I don't know if he still does or not. I'd never had volume 1, but this has Dizzy Miss Lizzie, Anytime at All. Love that song. Drive My Car. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. The Night Before. I'm Down. Revolution. Back in the USSR. Helter Skelter. Taxman. Got to Get You Into My Life. Hey Bulldog. Birthday. And Get Back. So there you go. They were very inexpensive. And of course, my favorite band, Iron Maiden. Such a great record. This one just was great. And there's the tour book. Went and saw them, hung out backstage, and just had a blast. Loved it. Wouldn't trade that for the world. The next one is question 11, I do believe, which is what, let's see here. Number 11 was name 3 vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. Now, I just discovered these guys. So of course, there's Rob Walker, Let the Music Play. That's one of them. Rob Walker, Let the Music Play. You know what? And I can do this too. I can copy those and I just put them right in here. There you go. Oh, you don't have to apologize, Miss So. Yeah, I can imagine. You can just come live here and I could be your landlord and you wouldn't have to worry about giving me a call. You won't have to worry about that. Where's the other gentleman that I found? I'm trying to find the other gentleman that I saw that was pretty cool. The funny thing is a lot of these come up and you're like, oh yeah. And so they keep popping up. And then all of a sudden when you're looking for them, there isn't anything. I can't even find it. Sugar. There it is. Okay. So Robert Fithen. That's another one. Robert Fithen. Most of these guys are pretty big. I didn't, I know it's not. So there you go, Robert Fithen. So that'll get you started. It's not 3, but I appreciate you guys giving me a break on that one. Let's see if we back up and we do this. Whoop. All right. So then next, show a record you bought when you were a teenager. So gladly. When I was a teenager, I'll be talking about this a little bit with Jeff sometime down the line here real quick. But when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, they had My Sharona came out and I fell in love with it. I was just talking to my friend, Dave Tedder, before the show earlier. And he was telling me a funny story about he and his friend and about bands that he liked that his friend didn't like, friend or cousin. And it reminded me of when I rode my bike downtown because we were at that time in 79, we got a record store in my little town. I was used to having to go to Peoria, or my mom would take us over to Bloomington Normal, to walk around town there and go to these, I think there was at least 2, maybe 3, but at least 2 record stores that they had. And I would peruse their cutouts like nobody's business. So, but in our little town, in my record store there, I bought Get the Knack. So, and then Jeff and I subsequently would see them on tour for Zoom, and we would be fortunate enough to meet up with these three guys, and they autographed it. That was special time. Loved that. That was a day to be remembered, if you know what I mean. Show a funk or soul record. So most recently, there's actually, I wish I could, this is the moment where I'm like, oh, can I show two things? Which it's my show. I can show whatever I want. Well, I can show however many records I want. But I did recently get this. This is what everybody would really think of as funk. And you'd be like, okay, I don't even know that other thing. But I just saw this in the store the other day. It'll be shown in my video that I'll show you guys from Dumb Records. Rick James. There you go. Busting out of L7. Fun record. Produced by Rick James and Art Stewart. And just a crazy fun record. And great artwork. Look at that. This one may come up. It could actually circle back around. I'm leaving it out for now. Okay? I'm leaving it out. It could circle back around. You'll understand when I say it. I love autographs like that. Yes, me too, buddy. Me too. Cool cover. Who's the artist? Which one? Which one were we talking about? Who the artist was? Now I'm trying to figure out which one we were talking about. All of the vinyl I had as a teenager belonged to my mom. She was the one who introduced me to certain groups. Otherwise, I would have listened to pop the rest of my life. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear, Miss. So, because a lot of the vinyl that I've been buying and finding is stuff that my friend Bob showed me and played for me. Yeah, did you like that one? Okay, so yeah, I'll show it again. This one, the Rick James, is that what you're talking about? This one, really cool artwork. You know what? If I can, let's see. Let me see if I can tell you who did this artwork, because I would like to know myself. It's really cool. I mean, it lands right in the comic book style that I really dig. Let me see what this says. This album wasn't in the greatest of conditions, but it wasn't horrid. But the price was right, so I picked it up because I had to have it. I had to have it. You know, there's that thin line between love and want, or have and want. I don't know, whatever it is. Need and want, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. While I'm looking this up and not figuring out what I want to say. Let's see. Cover art, please. Cover art. Sleeve design, art direction, illustration by Dave Mattingly. There you go. Dave Mattingly is responsible for that brilliant artwork right there. How cool. What a great, it's a fun record too, man. I love it. Let's say it's kick ass. I don't know if Rick's probably rolling in his grave right now going, fun? Baby, I didn't want to make it fun. I want to make it cool. And you did. It is cool. All right. Speaking of artwork on album covers, good Lord, wait till you see this next one. You all know it. Let's see. Number 14, show a record you think everyone has. Then show a record you think nobody has. Okay? I'm going to reach back here real quick if you don't mind. I'm sorry. I have to have two of them because I was talking to my friend Dave earlier, as I mentioned, and I told him, I said it was a toss-up. I wanted to do one, but then I had to do the other. So the one that I think everybody is one of those albums that so many people have is this one. right there. Heartbeat City by the Cars. There you go. Great album cover, great artwork, fantastic stuff. The music is just outstanding. This is, look at that. This is from excuse me, from the Record Club. There you go. RCA Music Service. What a great way to get music back then. And according to Pete and others, they never paid for it. So I don't know if Pete was one of those who said that or not, but anyway, cool cover, autographs, Rick James, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Everyone has that, right? You would think so. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf is another one that I always think of too. Now, then an album you don't think anybody has. I mean, I've never met up with anybody besides my friend who played it for me all those years ago. And I fell immediately in love with British Lions. I don't know anybody that has this except for the people that I've given it to. I gave one to my work friend. I gave one to my brother. I'm getting ready to send this one out to my friend Dave to take over to England when he goes over to meet up with Hell's Addiction, because I'm going to give Liam, that was on the show, I'm going to give him a copy of this and a copy of Horselips, Man Who Built America. So yeah, that's an album that I didn't think anybody had. And if you have never heard this, you need to. I'm sorry, I got to have two of them because I don't think anybody has this either. Creed this is from 1970. I always want to say it's 78, but I always get confused as to what I remember them having on here. I keep thinking that it was 79. See if I can find it. Nope, 78. I was right. 1970 says it on the spine right there. So teeny tiny on the spine right there. So great album. I describe this as you can hear it. It's out on YouTube. You can hear it on Spotify. They have to go by Southern Creed. So but man, if you've never heard this, every song on it is a banger. There isn't a clunker in the bunch. Keep on Rocking, Tied Down, Firecracker, You Never See It That Way, We're Gonna Make It, Just Can't Stop. What else we have here? Too Proud to Cry, Can't Find Love, and Time Again. Every song, great. It's like Southern rock with a little bit of jazz fusion. I know that seems strange and it seems weird, but it's really not. It's just kick-ass. So what's up, Saboteur? Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for being here earlier. I'm sorry, my computer decided to mess with me today. So let's get this thing wrapped up, shall we? Let's see what we got next. Show a record, yes. Now, number 15, She's Great, a record by a female artist that I bought in 2023. Well, you guys know what that is because I bought 2 copies of it. I bought another copy just the other day, and that is Fancy. And there she is, right there in the middle. So that's what I bought. I don't know that I bought any other female artists on vinyl besides this. But yeah, she was the lead singer. And I need to be reminded of her name too. Thank you, Ann Kavanaugh. Let's see, Ann Kavanaugh. Hopefully I'll never, ever, 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 never forget that. Everybody's loving everybody. Yeah, not familiar with her. Yep, now you are. There you go, Ann Kavanaugh. Now, okay, I'm a boy, right, who just thinks women are amazing. Okay, that's me. All right. No funky weird crap. That's just the way it is. 16. A favorite video you posted in 23. And the favorite video I watched. I'm not sure about the one well, 2023 was full of me watching um Nerdrotic and Pitch Meeting. Um I love Pitch Meeting. So I would have to say that. Um Ryan, Ryan George. I just think he's hilarious in what he does. He kicks a movie in the balls, but he does it in a funny way, and it's quick. It's quick, and he picks movies that we love, and he points out certain things in it that don't make sense, and you're like, yeah, I know. It's like Scooby-Doo physics. You're like, I know. It doesn't make sense, but it's fun, right? Right, Pete? It doesn't make sense, but it's fun. That's what's going on with Marvel these days. So anyway, my favorite video that I did this past year, so as not to put anybody behind anybody else, I'm going to say it was my intro video. It may not be my favorite video of all the videos that I've done, but you know what? I was happy and proud to be back, and happy that you guys came back with me and are here for the show. So I think that's my favorite video, was coming back this year and introducing the show again on its own. And a big, huge shout out to my buddy Jeff, because I thank him again and again and again and again. First of all, for asking me to do Go Game Go. What an honor to work with my friend and do that. And then to also have him agree to let me do to do Hammer Away on the Go Game Go channel. So I think that's probably my favorite. So thank you. I appreciate that. I do. It's just fun. It's great. It's good to be back. And it's good to be building and knowing that, you know, you're building something cool. The next question we have, that was number 16. Number 17, show me a record that you'd describe as a 90s classic. Okay, so let's get something straight right here and now. I loved the 70s. I love things out of the 60s. This is when I was alive, right? I love some things out of the 60s a lot. Some things that I love, I always thought they were kind of early 70s. They're 60s. I'm trying to remember what album I just was looking at the other day, and I was like, wow, this was in the 60s. It wasn't even in the 70s. But I love the 70s. I love the 80s. The 90s, not so much. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my time. There was a lot of mumbling. There was a lot of stuff I didn't get. You know, it's just, I've always said that I think that the 90s were popular because there were so many people that could sing in the 80s. So the 90s was all about, well, everybody can sing. You know, I mean, you're like, didn't Lou Reed already prove that years ago, that you can be popular and not be able to sing? And others, you know, that are like that. So, well, Def Leppard is, I mean, you know, they're in that. They had albums then. It's just, the problem with it is, Miss So, is I wasn't buying vinyl in the 90s. I was buying CDs. However, I did, because I'm a bit of a collector, I did find two things. 1990. See, that's, I don't know if I want to go so far as to I hated grunge, but there were things that I liked. Alice in Chains had some stuff, but I've never done a deep dive into Alice in Chains. Chris Cornell, everybody's got this. There's a lot of people that have a big affection for Chris Cornell, and I don't have a not affection for Chris Cornell. It's just, I just never got into him. So I don't know. It's like Disturbed. Disturbed had, I don't know how many freaking albums out before I ever deep dove into them. And I really liked them. Just not enough time. You know what I'm saying? Some bands fall by the wayside and you're just like, not getting into it. Yeah. Sorry. Tell me exactly what the blasphemy was, and I won't do it again. But I certainly was hoping I was staying away from saying anything too bad there, because again, there was things I didn't know, and it's not that I don't like it, it's just I don't know it. So anyway, I couldn't understand what the heck Eddie Vedder. Yes, exactly. Of course, I have to admit, though, Miss So, we do now and again, we have to admit that there's a lot of lyrics that Iron Maiden does, my favorite band, and I'm still like, what's he saying there? There's a lot of bands like that I love, and I'm like, what'd you say right there? So anyway, yeah, Cornelis King, good. I do like Soundgarden. I do have some Soundgarden back there. That's awesome. I just, like I say, I wasn't into all of the 90s stuff. Me and Miss So were like that. And it's not like I don't like it. It's just, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There you go. There you go. Plenty of respect. Plenty of respect. There were some bands that I did like. I liked Silverchair. I liked Screamin' Cheetah Wheelies were around that time. Collective Soul, liked a lot of their stuff. Brother Kane, Cry of Love. These are some of the 90s things that I really liked. But again, I didn't buy it on vinyl. I bought it on CD. So, but the two things I did find that I had, this was a promotional copy that I got of Just Say Ozzy. That was 1990. Look at this lineup, too. Look at this band lineup. Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, Zakk Wylde, if I can get it there, and Randy Castillo. Just Say Ozzy. So it's 6 songs. Starts with Miracle Man, and it's Bloodbath in Paradise, Shot in the Dark, Tattooed Dancer, which is that song. So when we're done here, go and check out Tattooed Dancer from Ozzy's album No Rest for the Wicked. All right, check out Tattooed Dancer right in the middle. I checked this out with my friend the other day. It's right in the middle. They kind of have this break, and he's like, da-na, da-na, da-na. It's a keyboard player. Excuse me. The keyboard player is John Sinclair. Well, John Sinclair was keyboard player for Uriah Heep back in the 80s when I saw them, when they'd had Abominog. And on Abominog, I saw them for the next record, which was Head First. And but on Abominog, they had a song called Sell Your Soul, which starts off with that. Ba-na, da-na. It's very similar. So John Sinclair here, John Sinclair here. Almost a decade later, using that riff in the midst of right in the middle of Tattooed Dancer by Ozzy Osbourne. So it was really neat to see this. And it was from the night Tattooed Dancer, Sweet Leaf, and War Pigs. There you go. There's the lineup right there. So interesting. The only album type, it's like an EP actually. Well, I don't know. Those songs can be kind of long, so I suppose it'd be like an album. And the only other thing, 1992, The Quick and the Dead, Be Quick or Be Dead by Iron Maiden, the single, which also had Nodding Donkey Blues and Space Station Number 5 on it. There you go. This is before Adrian Smith came back. So it's the 5 of them, not 6. So there you go. And it talked about the Castle Donington show. Back when they still called it Castle Donington. It was before the whole nastiness went down and screwed things up, and they changed the name. All right. So next, number 18. Okay, here we go. This is where I was setting you up. Okay. Women are amazing. Okay. Please just plenty of respect and plenty of admiration. Because this says, if I could walk into a cover, look through your collection, and choose a record cover you'd like to be a part of. And I thought, well, it could be a toss-up. If I wanted to be extra snarky, I'd throw up that Roxy Music album cover, but I don't own it on vinyl, so I can't do it. But this is a good runner-up. I'd step into this with a bouquet of flowers. I would. Or the runner-up, I could step into that. So that's some great artwork too, by the way. Very Frazetta. It's very Frazetta. And I don't know, cover painting by Ken Kelly. I wonder if that's like Kelly from Kelly and Mouse. I'll have to find that out. Those are some people that I really would love to talk to as well, who did so many album covers. So yes, I would step into that album cover. What do we have next? That looks like Pinup Party by Olivia. I love her art. Yeah. I started to get more into hip hop in the 90s and eventually EDM music. I did EDM. What is, why do I not know what that is? I did listen to alternative rock for many years, and some of that was okay up until the early 2000s. Yeah. So many of the certain bands that I liked started getting into that style as well. There was kind of a real major heaviness that came out in that. Not party. Well, it would be a party as far as I'm concerned. Like Slaughter got a little rougher around the edges in the 90s. Warrant got a little edgier around the edges as well. Number 19, we're almost there. It's like a greatest hits. Show a record you're so familiar with. Okay, so this is something I've listened to so many times. I'm so familiar with it. It feels like a greatest hits. So I mean, there's only certain albums where you can listen and just go, wow. I mean, that sounds like a hit. That sounds like a hit. This is it. You're just going and going and going through an album. And for me, I don't know about you. Let me know. How do you feel about the length of records? Are some records too damn long? When I was talking with Scott Mishu and Gaetano about the new album that they have, Phoenix Rising, for the Scott Mishu band. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. But when I was talking to them about that, I was reminded that 30 something minutes is kind of nice. It's a comfortable time frame for me to feel like, good. That's a good amount of that. Right? Now I can move on to the next thing. Instead of 40 minutes, let's say 45 minutes to 55 minutes. You're like, okay, I'm still on this record. Okay. Well, this one was one of those where it's in that 30-minute range, 30 some minutes, and every song on it to me is great. It started on their first album. Every song on there, you could almost do this with the first album, but I just really also enjoy this one. Don't Look Back. And the album cover, I almost could step into this one too. It's just such a great album cover. Great painting. So you can see there, Don't Look Back, The Journey, It's Easy, Man I'll Never Be, Feeling Satisfied, Party, Used to Bad News, Don't Be Afraid. Every song, a banger. Just boom, 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 all the way through. And each one just as singable as the next. I thought it was a great record. Great record. Never considered hair bands edgy unless it was GNR. No, and you're right. They weren't when they started. But if you listen to Angry AYM, Angry Young Man by Warrant, and that album, it's got some edge to it. It's got some grind. Let's put it that way. Skid Row got a little grindy too, as they went on. I don't mind longer albums. I listen to a lot of music while working, and I'll listen to the entire. Me too. Miss So, please do this for me. Can you think of just 2 albums? Anybody else too wants to chime in on this? I'd love it. Think of 2. What's 2 records that you could just put on? Let's say you're going to work you have 2 days left this week. Okay. You can only take one CD with you to work unless you work from home, right? For whatever reason, you can have one record tomorrow and one record the next day. All right. And listen to them over and over again all day long. You listen to it again, listen to it again, just all day long. What are 2 records that you can do that? I can tell you mine right now because I did it. I literally did it. And they're longer albums. So thank you for saying that. I do understand longer albums. I do understand loving longer albums. It's just now and again, it's just refreshing to have a record that is like Don't Look Back, where it's 30 some minutes and then boop, now you're on to the next thing. If you're the wanting to have that kind of variety. Now, I would take a CD into work when I worked at SLM and pop it into the computer and listen to it on my headphones. So 2 days, 2 different days, whatever they were. I don't remember what the distance was between them, but I wasn't like today and then tomorrow. It wasn't like what I just described. And I'm waiting to look at your answer. But I listened to Epica by Camelot all day one day. It just played and I'm like, God, that's good. And I just let it play again. And I'm like, God, that's good. And I just let it play again. So I listened to it all day long. The other one, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, did the same thing. Had it at work, listened to it. It was done. Moved to let it play again. I listened to it at least 3 times during that day. So what do we have? Kavinsky. He's a French DJ who is an 80s kid who did the soundtrack for the movie Drive. Oh, very good. It's an interesting movie. Great music videos too. Had a new album out last year. It's great. Well, thank you. All right. Good. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We're almost done. Here we go. It's about 50 years old. All right. This last one. All right. 50 years ago was 1974. Many great records came out in 1974. Now, of things that I own, it says number 20, show me an album that was released in 74. So for me, it took a minute because I had to figure out what it was that I have back here that was in 1974. Well, I just got this copy of it not long ago at a place called Ribbon Records on Main Street, Peoria. I got a copy of it because I thought I had a copy, but I didn't. It must have been my brother's or something. I don't know. But I found this one. And it's Bachman Turner Overdrive, Not Fragile. Love this record. We're talking Not Fragile, Rock Is My Life, and This Is My Song. Roll On Down the Highway, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. Freewheelin', which is an awesome instrumental that I'd love to do in my band. Sledgehammer, Blue Morning. Actually, it's Blue Moanin'. Secondhand, and Giving It All Away. It's a great record, front to back. It's the classic after Tim left lineup of Rob and Randy Bachman. It's got C.F. Turner and Blair Thornton over here. I saw both in the Round near my place here. They have Westport Playhouse is still going, but it's in a different place in the same building. It's not in the Round anymore. I saw lots of good bands in the Round there. April Wine. I even saw George Carlin live there. Bachman Turner Overdrive. The same year, Tim brought in 3 other guys with him, which was one of the greatest T-shirts on stage I've ever seen. And I'll look up the artwork and see if I could find it. It was Blondie, the cartoon Blondie, in a dominatrix outfit with a whip. That was brilliant. So I saw that grouping of them, and then I was working as an usher at the time, and then this lineup, which is the lineup I remember when I was a kid. I paid attention to when Blair Thornton was in the band, right? Even though BTO2, I listened to that. And it had Tim on it. So this lineup was there, and I really wanted to meet them. So I clocked out. I was clocked out, and then I went back in and got backstage and met up with the four of these guys. And what a moment that was for me. I got in trouble, but whatever. So it was worth it. Totally worth it. I still have their autographs that I got on the back of my business cards all those years ago. It was such a great moment. Second album would be the soundtrack to Inception. Ooh, I listen to soundtracks too. Yeah, me too. Me too. I have lots of soundtracks back here and back there on CD. Many more probably on CD than I do back here. I've got I've got the Star Wars soundtrack back here. I've got like the Sorcerer soundtrack with Tangerine Dream. I got to have that. I have the Thief soundtrack back here on vinyl from Tangerine Dream. Heavy metal soundtrack, FM soundtrack, Top Gun, that kind of stuff. So lots of stuff. Footloose. I have the Footloose soundtrack. So yeah, lots of things. So yeah, I think that kills the list there. That'll do it. So there is that. I suppose I better get going because we have Go Game Go coming up here in less than 45 minutes. Tickety talk. So I think that's everything today. Just keep thinking that there's something else I was going to say, and I don't think there is. So what I'm going to do is I was talking with Dave Tedder today. I'll be having some more interviews coming up. I'll be talking with Chip Zanoff today or tomorrow, and be getting ready to get him on the show as well. Hopefully at the end of this month is what we're planning on. And it'll be great to talk with him. I haven't talked with him in a little while. We'll see what we're going to be talking about tonight on Go Game Go. In the meantime, thank you for hanging. I really do appreciate you guys coming back and hanging with me after the technical difficulties. Thanks again for the thought about rebooting and trying it again. That worked out great. Need you to host a karaoke show. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We can see what we can do about that. We will see you soon. Thank you again, guys. We look forward to seeing you. Let me put this up on the screen, and we will get our theme song a rocking and rolling, because that's what we do here. We'll see you guys soon. We'll see what's coming up for us next week. It's going to be a surprise. So keep hitting that like and subscribe, and make sure you're getting the notifications. And we will talk to you later.